Welcome back to Erkstown, 4th grade system engineers. We have moved on to chapter 2, and today we are going to lesson 2.1, activity 1. So let's review our unit question. Our goal for the entire unit is to figure out how the electrical system works. So always keep that in mind as we go through our lessons. So let's do a little review from our first unit. We made a claim, a possible answer, remember a claim, that something went wrong with the electrical system in Erkstown, and that caused the blackout. What evidence that something went wrong with the electrical system? What is the evidence we had? Well, we looked at the pictures, and we saw that it was on, it went off, and then came back on again. So we know our other claim was that they all broke, and we decided it was pretty much impossible for them all to break at the same time. So we know with what we learned about electricity that something wasn't quite right in that system. Maybe some wires were out of place. Maybe there was a natural event such as lightning or a storm or wind. Maybe there was a fuse that broke. So we saw some evidence that it was on, stopped, and then it came back on a little bit later. So that means that something was probably fixed. Today, or this chapter, we're going to try to figure out what makes the devices in Erkstown output energy or fail to output energy. So we're going to figure out things such as lights, such as radios, such as electric stoves. What makes them have energy, being able to output energy, and what causes them to fail and not be able to output the energy. So our goal for today, we've discovered that electrical devices have inputs and outputs. So something has to come in before things go out. We figured that out when we did our simulations. We also figured it out when we watched those two boys put together their simple electrical machines. We had our light bulb to our solar panel, to our wires, to our lamp. So input the sun from the light bulb, output the light. Today, we're going to figure out how devices have so many different output energy forms when they all are plugged into the same electrical system. So how can you plug in a fan and get wind, but also plug in a toaster and get heat? That's what we're going to work on. We're going to do this with our reference book. We started with this reference book a little while back, and you're going to have these pages available for you in Seesaw. But let's figure some things out. Where should we look to see if the book contains any information about electrical devices? Because that is what we want to know. What part of the book can we look in? Think about that. What text feature in this book helps us find out if there's any information in electrical devices? I bet you're thinking it. That's right, the table of contents. And which section in this table of contents, if you look closely, gives us information about electrical devices? So I'm looking at the words. My eye is drawn to the ones that are bold. So I'm going to look there first. Energy, forms of energy, and I quickly glance through and I see that has nothing to do with devices. Energy converters, underneath there, oh, there it is, electrical devices. It's telling me that I should be looking on page 14. So here is page 14. You can read along as I read aloud to you. It is also in Seesaw. You can read it again as many times as you wish. So we're going to learn more about electrical devices that are able to have many different output energy forms. An energy converter takes energy in one form and converts it to another. For example, a car is an energy converter that converts chemical energy from gasoline to motion energy that makes it go. Electrical devices like radios and source converters like solar panels are two types of energy converters, but there are many other types. In fact, almost anything that does anything at all is converting energy in some way. So let's read about some of those devices. Electrical devices. Electrical devices are energy converters that we use every day. All electrical devices run on electrical energy. That's why they're called electrical devices. They convert electrical energy into a different form of energy. It could be light energy, motion energy, sound energy, or thermal energy. There are lots of different kinds of electrical devices. Here are a few examples. Radios and music players. A radio converts electrical energy into sound energy. The part of the radio that does this is called the speaker. Other devices with speakers or headphones, such as music players and telephones, also convert electrical energy into sound energy. So what's our input there? And what's our output? So we're talking about electrical devices, so we know we have electrical energy coming in. And what is coming out? We have a speaker, so we have sound energy. Can you think of another type of energy that comes out of a radio? Think hard. So we read that all devices are converters. Changes one type of energy to another. What are some forms of energy that they convert electrical energy into? So our speakers converted it into what? Not light energy, but that's one of the options. What's another type of energy that this radio could have converted it into? Let's see. What's another type of energy? Thermal energy. Does it convert it to thermal energy? It does. Have you ever put your hand on your iPod or your iPhone or a speaker and feel how it's a little bit warm? That's because it not only emit sound energy, but it also emits thermal energy, a little bit of heat. So like we just said, we have motion energy. Is it moving? Is our radio moving? It's not, but motion energy is an option. And last but not least, sound energy. We had sound energy from our radio. So the four choices you have that they convert energy, electrical energy into light, thermal, motion, and sound. We're going to use those. So our radio, let's review one more time. What comes out of our radio? What goes into our radio? To make our radio work, we have to have something. And when it works, something comes out. So what comes out of our radio? But sound. Exactly. What goes into it? What is making it work? That's right, electrical energy. Good job, system engineers. All right, let's practice one more. What form of energy do you see when I swing my hands together here? What form of energy? Remember, we have light, we have motion, we have sound, and we have thermal. What do you see here? Well, my hands are moving, so that means I have motion energy. That's right. All right, we have another one here. But remember, we convert energy from one form to another all the time. I want you to listen. What am I converting? So we had already said I had motion energy. What am I changing it to? That's right. When I clap, I make sound energy. When you clap, you're converting motion energy to sound energy. That's right. Now one more. Rub your hands together really fast. I'm doing it. Oh, I don't like how it feels. What's happening? My hands are getting hot, right? So what are my forms of energy? What did I start out with? And what did it convert to? So I'm rubbing. That is motion. And my hands are getting hot. It becomes thermal. That's right. I knew you knew that. So remember, the devices convert energy just as you do. We have our radio. It converts electrical energy to sound energy. We talked about that. And we have an electric stove here. You plug it in, you get electricity going through, and it takes that electrical energy and turns it into thermal energy because it puts out heat, and that's how you can cook with an electric stove. So what you're going to do, you're going to turn to page 22 in your notebook, your investigation notebook. If you don't have it, it is also in Seesaw. Let's read the directions, and we'll do the first one together. So we read the beginning of the electrical devices section, and we're going to use the information to complete our table. Record each electrical device you read about. So after we're finished going through the directions and we do a sample together, you're going to read the rest of the pages 15 and 16. And you're going to read about the rest of the devices, and you'll complete this table. So next to each device, you're going to record its function, its input energy form, so what comes into it, and its output energy form, what goes out. So let's do this together. So our first device was a radio. We saw a picture of that, right? What is its function? This is how you're going to do it for the other 1, 2, 3, 4 different devices. So we have a radio. What's its function? To make some music, play some music, make some sounds. All right. What goes into our radio? What type of energy? Let's see. I usually plug it in, so that means electrical energy. That's right. I plug it in, I turn it on, and does it heat up? Does it make a light? Does it make a sound, or does it move? What does it do? Well, I know it makes a sound, but does it do anything else? Remember, we talked about it real quick. It also gives you a little heat. So you're going to do this exact same thing for the next 4 devices. And again, to review, pages 15 and 16, you're going to read on your own. The devices are highlighted in blue, so you should be able to find them easily. Tell me what their function is, what their energy form input is, and what their energy form output is. What comes in, what comes out. What things should you know? If you look here at the bottom where my mouse is, these are all electrical devices. They're electrical. What has to be going into them? If you said electricity, you are correct. So electrical energy goes into each of these devices. So go ahead and stop this video, go to Seesaw, open up the assignment, read pages 15 and 16, fill this chart out, send it to your teacher, and then we'll see you on the very next science lesson.